These days, unmanned aerial vehicles are used in various spheres of life, and yet their most popular field is aerial photography, which allows us to take excellent photos and views from a bird's eye view. Drones can capture an attraction, event, geological formation, or natural phenomenon from almost any angle, conveying their beauty and scale. In this episode, get ready to see amazing places and objects captured on a drone camera. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so as to not miss even more interesting episodes. Modern technologies allow one to shoot videos from various angles and heights, while these shots were taken literally from a bird's eye view. By attaching the camera to the eagle, you can enjoy not only the scenery, but also see the world through the eyes of this bird of prey. The Catski Pillar in Georgia is a small monastery complex with a chapel on top of a 40-meter rock formation. Obviously, it is quite difficult to get into it. There is only a suspended staircase that can be used to go up and down. You can't shock anyone with the usual circles in the fields anymore. Perhaps that's why new, more complex drawings are appearing. It is not known exactly to whom this portrait is dedicated and what purpose it serves, but its scale and precision of lines are impressive. The unusual residential complex called the Vertical Forest in the center of Milan is a symbiosis of living spaces and greenery. It consists of two buildings with a height of 80 and 112 meters and has a total of 5,000 bushes and 11,000 outdoor plants. The Shanghai Tower is a building that embodies the endless possibilities of the latest technologies in construction. It is the tallest building in Asia and one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world. Inside, there are observatories, conference rooms, a hotel, a museum, shops, restaurants, gardens, and a shopping center. In the cold season, perfectly smooth ice circles can be seen on reservoirs. The exact reason for their appearance is unknown. Some scientists explain that circles are formed by a vortex current during which a piece of ice sheet begins to rotate and its edges are polished. If you doubt how unforgettable and extreme this road is, just imagine that it is located 300 meters above the abyss. Surfing in San Diego, you can not only catch one of the best waves in the world, but also see graceful and agile dolphins in the immediate vicinity. Australian surfers can do what they love not only in the ocean. An artificial lake with a mechanism for creating waves of varying complexity, length, and size has been opened in the city of Queensland. There are many unusual and interesting places on our planet, and drones make it possible to capture and explore them. Producers from the film industry should be interested in this place. Just add a bit of special effects, and it could be a great location for a thriller or horror movie. A side effect of dismantling a building by explosion is the risk of damage to neighboring structures by a shockwave. But if you need to demolish an entire residential complex, then such risks are not that horrible. There are about 3,500 waterfalls on the globe. The most recognizable of them is undoubtedly Niagara. Drones equipped with thermal cameras have become an important tool for the search and identification of archaeological sites. They often make it possible to determine the location of future excavations. These are not some strange pink balls in the water, but several million pink flamingos on Lake Nakuru in Kenya. The drone was filming a wonderful landscape at sunset when it approached a lone sheep resting quietly in a field. Obviously, the animal did not really like such a company, so the sheep decided to attack the uninvited guest. The state of Utah is famous for its extraordinary landscapes and places that closely resemble the surface of Mars. The hills here are striking in shades of colors, which were formed due to volcanic ash and the peculiarities of the local soil. Killer whales are often called the most dangerous animals in the ocean, and for good reason. They are able to attack in packs using very sophisticated hunting tactics. They usually hunt fish and seals, but sometimes they also choose larger victims. This is not a mirage, but a city among the barren sand dunes of the Atacama in Peru. There may not be many locals here, but there is everything for tourists who want to see the oasis with their own eyes and try sandboarding. This is not an ancient portal to another dimension, but one of the most amazing viaducts in the world. The iridescent shades of blue and milky white icebergs of Greenland are known all over the world, but it is extremely rare to see their destruction. Akhmara was once a thriving mining village in Abkhazia. Now it is a ghost town where subtropical vegetation has captured the fundamental buildings. Skyscrapers are increasingly appearing in huge cities and reach several hundred meters in height. The people who do this by washing windows in them deserve respect because such bravery can only be envied. Fort Alexander I, better known as the Plague Fort, is located in the Gulf of Finland. Until the end of the 18th century, it was part of defensive structures, and after that, it was used as a laboratory where a plague vaccine was developed. In the middle of the Columbia River in the northwestern USA, a drone captured a buoy with an osprey nest on it. Considering that the main criteria in its construction are safety from predators and an abundance of fish nearby, this is the perfect place. Imagining what the fort looks like, it can hardly occur to you that it might somehow be unusual. Nevertheless, the Dutch fort of Bourtange has the shape of a star, which once made it possible to create a wider angle of attack of the enemy at the corners and better defend. It turns out that even when participating in a high-speed race, you can lose your way and get into a traffic jam. It is easy to say that this ship sails on thin ice like a knife through butter. Once on the observation decks of Barcelona, the figure of Christ, which rises on Mount Tibidabo, catches the eye. The bronze statue is located on the top of the Neo-Gothic Temple of the Sacred Heart and symbolizes the path that a person must walk through the temple to the Savior. Such a floating palace has everything not only for a comfortable life, but also for recreation, entertainment, and work. The female humpback whale wanted to share her happiness with others, so it shared its newborn baby to tourists. On a sandbank near Norman's Cay in the Bahamas, you can find the well-preserved remains of an airplane. There are many rumors about this aircraft, and it is believed that it belonged to Pablo Escobar and was smuggling cargo to the USA as part of an international drug gang. This video was shot in order to capture an important competition. However, instead of watching the athletes, the eye falls on their shadows every now and then. Tough rock, majestically towering over green valleys and deep gorges, will not seem to everyone a perfect place to live, but for travelers, this ideal place promises a lot of impressions. Birds are not yet used to the presence of drones in the sky. It is not surprising that they are hostile towards these unknown objects. Courage sometimes borders on recklessness. Perhaps the older generation is not yet familiar with modern aerial photography techniques and therefore strangely reacts to unidentified flying objects. An ordinary algae farm has become a real salvation for a poor seal who was surrounded by killer whales. Powerful dust storms don't just look terrifying, they also cause disastrous damage to the soil and human health. Let the video not convey the emotions of these daredevils, but you can imagine what kind of adrenaline overwhelms them. It turns out that even rice fields can become a canvas for art. The most desperate extreme lovers are able to build a flying ship from an inflatable boat. Uninvited flying and buzzing guests are not favored not only by people, but also by animals. In Spain, such a way of Catalan sports entertainment is very popular. It's all about towers made of people. Would you dare participate in such a thing? Absolutely unique sensations are available to pilots operating fighter jets. Modern aviation systems allow aircraft to arrive exactly at their destination. In the old days, everything looked very different. Reindeer are definitely adapted to harsh winter conditions, and they are perfectly able to disguise themselves. You may think that this is some kind of shamanic ritual. In fact, this is an art installation, Silent People, created by a Finnish artist. This work is shrouded in many theories, and each viewer sees his own meaning in it. The fact that mountain goats easily move over rocks is not surprising, because nature has made sure that their hooves are narrow and sensitive enough for such jumps. It's just a show, but my heart still sinks at the sight of such a thing. Those who are able to conquer such a wave are truly professionals with incredible fortitude. It's amazing how quickly our planet is regenerating. Until recently, it was a lifeless funnel, but today, it is covered with greenery. With the help of a drone, you can observe the natural life of wild animals around the clock without threatening your own. For scientists, this has long been a salvation. Such an interesting burial in hanging coffins was found in China. This method of burial was very expensive, and only the richest people of that time could afford it, but it allowed them to protect the dead bodies from wild animals. It's not enough just to catch a marlin on a fishing rod, it still needs to be pulled out, and this fish does not give up so easily. With the help of drones, you can make an incredible light show that will not leave anyone indifferent. Thanks to specialized drones, rescue operations can be carried out faster and better. Manatees are not often seen with your own eyes, and capturing them on camera is a real chance to create an amazing video. Modern technologies greatly facilitate the life of livestock breeders. It becomes much more convenient to control the process. The wind in the mountains is so strong that it can cause a thin stream of water to flow upwards. What an incredible sight! This unusual sport requires serious athletic training and very well-trained hands.
It was so cool! It's hard to comprehend how this is even possible. What an incredible footage! We always strive to choose the best content for you.
Such jumps filmed on a drone look even more spectacular. This is a speed of 750 kilometers per hour. Yes, you're observing the movement at exactly this speed. It looks impressive, isn't it? The power of the water element is impressive, and the person against their background looks completely helpless. The glow of the water is very simply explained by the presence of luminescent plankton in it, but it still looks magical. You can endlessly enjoy an exciting air show against a cloudless sky. It took months to build such a huge thing, but it only took a few seconds to get rid of it. It is unlikely that you've ever seen such a large accumulation of sharks before. This is definitely not the safest place. Now you know how to transport large-sized aircraft parts. It's good that today such work is done by machines. No wall can save you from such big waves. And they also say that a person is not born to fly. Some people seem to be born for this after all. Pink lakes are rare and a real natural phenomenon. There are only a few similar ones on the planet. There are several hypotheses regarding the reasons for this color of water: rare algae, special minerals on the bottom, or halobacteria. These shots are more suitable for a post-apocalyptic film than for our reality. However, unfortunately, these are the consequences of a real earthquake. People call this creepy place the Devil's Eye in the middle of the desert. The land around this seething lake is barren and uninhabitable. There is a very unusual attraction on a mountain in Italy. This is a giant pink plush rabbit. There is no need to look for a deep meaning in this artistic work, since the main goal was to attract tourists. What's that? Did lovers of water transport decide to arrange a flash mob? I would stay as far away from such an intersection as possible. And you? White sharks are very dangerous, but extremely interesting animals to study. It's good that today you can shoot a lot with a drone without risking human life. What you're seeing now is not just painstaking work, it's a successful attempt by a loving husband on the 40th anniversary of his wife's death to perpetuate her favorite instrument in memory of her. He could have just carried flowers to her grave every year, but he decided to plant a whole forest in the shape of a guitar, which she loved to play so much. It's so touching, isn't it? The potash ponds of Moab are desert lakes, the site of which raises many questions. Such a bright palette of colors is due to the method of extraction of potash fertilizers. More saturated colors indicate a greater intensity of ultraviolet absorption. Another unusual place on our planet is the Bloody Waterfall, which is terrible only by its name. The color is due to the fact that when the glacier melts, special bacteria begin to actively develop in this water. This natural phenomenon suggests that life can exist in any conditions. And this is not an amazing place, but rather a frightening reality. We can't even imagine how many trees are being cut down to ensure a comfortable existence for people. This boiling lake is definitely not suitable for swimming. As they say, the rich have their own desires. Camille Bartosek made a real money rain, throwing off $1 million from a helicopter in October of this year. Drones not only capture incredible moments, but also create them. Just look at this light show. Not only amphibians feel comfortable both in water and on land, Indian water buffaloes can also boast of such a feature. How spectacular does the dismantling of such dimensional structures look from the air? Abandoned ships are always shrouded in secrets and chilling stories. This vessel was no exception. It is said that after the crash, it became a refuge for restless souls. Something incredible has been built in China. This is a glass circular bridge from the base of which water jets constantly flow down. It is located at a height approximately equal to the 170-story house. At night, this engineering miracle begins to glow with all kinds of lights, which gives it a special, magical look. This is certainly not a natural waterfall, but it is also impressive. While someone is flooding the neighbors below, someone is flooding the whole yard. How unusual and amazing it is to watch the perfect work of a shepherd dog from a drone. This unique rescue operation was filmed on a drone. Fearless professionals struggled to pull a man out of the icy water. Fortunately, everything was crowned with success. Nature is truly the best artist. The whale swam into one of the underwater caves and accidentally got into the drone's lens. It's so touching, isn't it? These natural disasters destroyed entire hectares of agricultural land.
Have you also noticed that our time together flies at the speed of light? We can't wait to see you in our next episode. See you soon!